Hello everyone, can you hear us? Please comment in the chat if you can hear us and I'll turn on video. Okay, I just need someone in the chat to confirm that the audio is working. Excellent. Thank you, Cher. Okay, we are live. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Bad Astra, the show that teaches you science with far more costume changes than math. Today, for our live stream, we're doing something slightly different. We're having a little fun with April Fools with two of my friends, Abby and Grace, who also happen to be PhD candidates in astronomy. Although today we're going to be talking about a slightly different paper. So to introduce this paper, can you first explain to me what the Bachelor is?
Do you want to go?
Oh my god, okay. So The Bachelor is a reality TV show. It's very straight, so just a warning.
Okay.
Okay, so basically it switches off between the main character being a boy or a girl.
Mm-hmm.
And so let's say in The Bachelor, there would be one main guy.
Okay.
And he's looking for love.
Okay.
And the way he would do this is there would be 30 women who are competing for his affection, his ultimate affection. So he's basically dating 30 women.
Okay.
Throughout these few weeks, and every week
We are very poly accepting. I like this polyamorous setup. You can't be everything to everyone. Yeah.
Right. It starts poly for
Okay.
sure, and then
starts.
and then every week, like someone will be eliminated. Like one of the girls will be eliminated until it's down to just one guy and one girl.
These don't sound like super ethical, like polyamorous practices, but I guess if everybody's a consenting adult. So wait, is this polyamory with the goal of monogamy?
Yes.
Yeah, you can say that.
Does that ever work out?
It has. This kind
Really?
of formula has been found to be very successful in multiple instances.
Oh, what percentage?
6 out of 25 couples are still together today on The Bachelor. So about a little over 20%.
Yeah.
I would say that's great.
That's actually better than most relationships.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we get to be entertained.
Yeah.
Like while it goes on.
Okay.
So, you know.
So, oh, I get it. We all laugh at the straight people
Yes.
being straight.
100%.
Oh, okay. I think I get The Bachelor.
Yeah.
So, your paper is about predicting the results of The Bachelor. How did you do that? And did it work?
Yeah, so this is an idea I've been thinking about for years, but I finally got the resources and collaborators to make this work.
To bring your vision
to bring my
life.
vision.
Yeah, your paper has 6 authors on it. I have the first and second author right here. There are 4 other authors. So did all 6 of you work together to... What? I'm still a little unclear on the concept, but did you call the producers and ask what the results of the casting would be? How did you use machine learning in all this?
Yeah, so we wanted to test multiple different machine learning algorithms.
Okay.
So we tested 3, and so 3 of us each tried one of them. So I tried a random forest, Grace tried regression, and then a third person tried a neural net. And then we all tried to compare our models to see which one was best at predicting love.
And which one was?
Neural nets.
Okay.
Yeah.
So neural nets can predict the Bachelor's results. And was it could it only predict the finalists, or could it also predict whether or not they were still together?
So it would predict places. So it could predict like this person, given their characteristics, is going to place 16th, for example.
Okay.
So it could predict places 1 through 30.
Wow.
Whether they are still together is beyond the scope of this paper, but
further
that's a
study
great
is
suggestion
needed.
for future work.
Okay, further study is needed. Got
That's
it.
a hella good idea. We should do that.
Yeah, I sense a collaboration forming.
Follow-up study.
Follow-up study?
Yeah.
I like this. And if I am to understand correctly from our previous communications, it seems as though this paper is releasing tomorrow or later tonight, mainly as an April Fool's joke, yes?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And how many...
We take it very seriously.
We take it very seriously.
Going off that, how many months did you spend on this paper?
I remember Abby and I were like on a run and we were talking about it a year ago.
More than a year ago. I think it was in February of 2021, but the data collection actually took a really long time, so we were like, let's do this for 2022.
Yeah.
And by data collection, you mean...
Right, so to collect the characteristics of every single contestant, this was about 430 people, I watched The Bachelor for a long time. Observations were conducted on a 12-inch MacBook Pro, and seeing conditions, which in astronomy are basically how well you're able to see the object you're trying to observe. Where seeing was hazy, as we often consume multiple glasses of wine during data collection.
That probably helped your mental health, though.
Yes.
Okay, with that, let's look to the chat and say hi to everybody. Oh, hey. Hello, Cher. Thank you so much for coming. Paige the Puppet.
Cher?
No, this one is Cher Core.
Oh, okay.
Which is actually the Cher's last name.
Oh.
Oh, shit. Oh. Sorry.
Very fine.
Okay.
This is very much an NSFW
This is
channel.
safe space.
We have some content geared toward younger audiences. This is not it.
Okay.
Okay. Starry Night, hi. Thank you for joining us. Shreya, hi.
Oh my god, hi Shreya.
Shreya is one of our biggest fans.
She's my lab mate. And also one of my biggest fans.
Hello, Shreya. Is she on the paper?
She is not.
Yeah, she was not deemed a mega fan enough to be on the paper.
We only had full-blown mega fans of The Bachelor as often.
Sorry, Shreya.
That's fair. That's fair. If I were ever to do a scientific paper about Star Trek, I would probably want to keep it.
You need to vet your authors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You need a certain level of commitment to the work.
Right, and just passion. It's just a lot of passion.
Yeah.
So would you say that The Bachelor is something you are both very passionate about?
I think so, yeah. And I also think, like, reality TV in general, I very much enjoy. Like, also The Real Housewives, it's, like, along the same vein as, like, being just very trashy. Because I find myself, like, in academia especially, I'm, like, around such serious people. And so sometimes I will go home and I'm like, damn, I don't want to, like, learn anything. Like, I just want to watch reality TV and, like, have a good time.
Well, then you must hate it here because we are all very serious people. Sure. Oh, the people, wait, the people competing in The Bachelor don't get to be poly?
Oh, no.
Okay, so you have 30 women, and all of them are just dating the guy, but not each other.
Correct.
And this is my issue.
So what do they do? What do they do for most of the day? Because, like, I assume they only get, like, a 30th of the time.
Oh, great question.
Yeah.
I think they work out a lot.
Yeah.
Because most of them are actually aspiring influencers.
I see.
Yes.
So if you win The Bachelor, does the final Bachelor couple, like, become Insta-famous?
Exactly.
There's a really great Instagram user, I'm forgetting the handle now, like Bachelor Statistics or something, and she tracks Instagram growth of certain contestants. Like when something really explosive happens in the season, she'll be like, this person's Instagram growth like throughout the season, and you can see like it's insane how it trends with whatever happens in the season.
I think it's at Bachelor Data.
Oh, thank you. Oh my
audience.
God. Yeah.
So, are you implying that this reality show in which this reality show in which 30 men or 30 women are competing with each other in a sort of polyamorous but not really polyamorous thing with the end goal of being picturesque monogamy might not actually be in it for love?
Yeah.
That has been theorized, correct?
Yeah.
Controversial, but someone had to say it.
What?
We're not afraid to say it.
Yeah.
ABC, come for us.
We're opening.
What a take.
Yeah.
Truly groundbreaking take. Okay, so what do you do, Abby and Grace? I'll start with you, Abby. What do you do when you are not putting yourself and your safety at risk on the line, rewatching this much of The Bachelor for data collection purposes? I truly commend that you are very focused on your work. In fact, usually on these live streams, we talk about scientific accidents that have happened, like the demon core or the guy who stuck his face in a particle beam.
Mm-hmm.
But this feels more like just a commitment to rotting your brain for science. I very much commend that because you did it to yourself on purpose.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't a
Thank you.
horrible accident.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
So what do you do with yourself when you are not collecting data for the Bachelor paper?
So, like Grace, I'm a big fan of reality TV in general. I like Too Hot to Handle, Fuckboy Island, Temptation Island.
Are these real shows?
These are all real.
These are all real. They're all knockoffs of The Bachelor.
You truly could be making these up and I would not know.
I particularly recommend Fuckboy Island. It's on HBO. It's great.
Which I just want to give credit where credit is due. I believe that they are also a bit of they take their inspiration a lot from Love Island.
Okay, fair.
Like the fuckboy, all the islands, all the tropical love, like those types are very heavily inspired by Love Island, which is a British one.
See, I don't like Love Island because I feel like they're trying too hard to actually pretend they're forming romantic connections. Like
That's
Fuckboy
fair.
Island is just everyone's super horny and like
they're allowed to fuck in Love Island.
Oh, they are.
Oh yeah. That's my tiff with The Bachelor. I'm like, this is so fake. Whereas on Love Island, they're just like, we're just here to drink and fuck.
Okay. Good to know.
Anyway.
Wow, you just opened my eyes. What was the question again?
I'm here to start a dialogue, you know.
I was asking about what you did as an astronomer.
What I do as an astronomer. Let's see.
We haven't even started drinking!
Sorry. Anyway.
What do I do as an astronomer? So in my spare time, I am an astronomer. I actually study these types of stars called carbon stars. They're very old stars that have carbon in their atmospheres, and I use these stars to measure the age of the universe.
Cool.
Yeah.
So, didn't you know that it's, first of all, very impolite to ask a universe for its age?
Yeah. I also its weight, but I'm trying to measure that too.
Damn.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's...
I'm really just pushing the boundaries.
You call it edgy comedy, but I feel like you're about to get canceled.
Yeah. I'm on that cancel watch list any day now.
Yes.
Red, white, or cider?
White, please.
White,
Cider,
please.
please.
Okay.
So for those of you watching at home, my wife is taking a break from checking the chat to get us drinks because for this conversation, much like your hazy viewing of The Bachelor, we definitely need to have a few drinks.
Chat, so.
Did anybody? Okay, we didn't miss too much in the chat. Everybody, by the way, please write in the chat any questions you have for Abby or Grace about this paper, about reality TV, about their work. If you have any questions about carbon stars, put that in the chat. I am also checking the chat. So how does a star become a carbon star? You said they're just very old, but how old generally?
Yeah, so these stars are actually 2 to 5 giga years old. So that's 10 to the 9th years. They're extremely old. Only stars in like a very small range of masses become carbon stars, and so that's why they're so interesting. Most stars end up becoming either supernovae or these things called white dwarfs. But these carbon stars are special, I think.
If you want to learn more about white dwarfs or supernovae, check out our video "Even Stars Must Die," where we go over how those two stars form. Hold on. Hey, Robert Williams, you're here. Glad you caught this one. Algorithm, the programmer doesn't want to tell you what they wrote. Heuristic, the program. Yes, those are very good definitions of algorithm or heuristic.
Cheers, bitch.
Cheers. Okay. So.
Oh, this is better than the colloquium wine.
This is hella good.
Thank you.
Here at Bad Astra, we will not be slandered, so we serve good wine to make sure that nobody says otherwise. Okay. So Abby, you study carbon stars. Grace, you're not actually an astronomer. You are a physicist, right?
Yes.
And based on your Instagram handle, Grace Optics, I would guess that
Follow
you
her.
study. Everybody follow Grace Optics.
Grace_optics.
Yeah.
Yes. So I do work on a telescope. So like I am like very in the astronomy department in that sense. But like what I do specifically is I make sure the telescope works well and like can see. So like, you know how, anything that's wrong with your eyes can happen to a telescope. So like if you have astigmatism or if you just need lenses to make things in focus, like all that can happen to a telescope as well. And so I literally measure that in lab. We have the telescope in our lab, and the goal of this specific telescope is to measure the cosmic microwave background, which is basically the first light that existed in the universe. And the way that we know this is what it is because it's a certain wavelength that is theoretically predicted to exist, and then literally some engineers held an antenna up and accidentally measured it. I'm not even kidding. Like, this is how they discovered it. They were like, there's all this noise, what the hell is this, you guys? And then they went and talked to their theorist, cosmology friend, and he was like, you guys, this is the thing I was talking about. And so that's it. But basically that's what we're measuring, but I'm really hardcore into the optics of it and stuff. So I write a lot of code to simulate that and model what things should look like, and then I measure, does it actually look like that, and yeah.
That was a great reenactment of the CMB history.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I really like that. That is pretty much the story I learned in college.
It's what happened.
Because they co-release 2 joint papers.
Yeah.
It was 2 papers, but they were released around the same time, and they each cited each other before the other one. It was a very cute story.
It was cute.
Science at first sight, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
I love it. I ship that science very hard.
No, I also do.
Yeah.
It's cute. I love
cute.
I love when we give engineers credit. I don't know. It's cute.
Engineers getting credit?
I know, I just I don't
Grace,
know.
what are you talking about?
Okay,
Can someone
sorry.
tell my boss?
Oh my god. Sorry, you guys.
Okay, so because you work on optics, I think some of our viewers likely heard of and might even be following the James Webb Telescope.
Oh my god, obsessed. No.
We stand.
We stand.
Oh, we stand. But we all talked about how it was on its way out to L2, how it was unfolding, and we hit a point several weeks ago where it was at L2 successfully, yay! It had completely unfolded successfully, yay! But currently, it is going to be spending a bit more time, I think, until June. just lining up everything.
Mm-hmm.
So, could you explain to our lovely viewers why the James Webb takes so long to unfold and get everything aligned? Like, why is that little in?
Want me to, or do you want to?
I can do it, but if you want to, you're the telescope expert.
Well, it takes the shield that it put out was to block the sun.
Mm-hmm.
So that's to kind of reduce the luminosity that it's seeing from another source, so that it can get a clear view of what it's looking at. And then also the panels. So you've seen those like hexagons that make up. So that's. It actually takes a while to, if those are not like perfectly aligned, then that'll mess up the shape of, say you're looking at something like a little tiny star really far away, it should just look like a point.
Mm-hmm.
But if your mirrors are not perfectly aligned, then it will kind of distort what you're seeing. And if it distorts a point, then it's going to distort anything else you look at. So there's a lot of alignment that goes on with those panels specifically. Anything else you want to?
I will say, so James Webb is at L2, which is very far away, like too far for astronauts to go out and fix it.
Mm-hmm.
Hubble actually had a problem with one of its mirrors, and they had to send astronauts up to go fix it. And so I just find it interesting that James Webb has been so successful so far, basically flawless in its execution. So I commend the James Webb Space Telescope team. Shout out!
Yeah, a toast to the James Webb team, because if like one of their 100+ failure modes happened, many people would be out of jobs, and that would be very bad.
I will say my thesis is going to be based on James Webb Space Telescope data. So if it fails, I will probably die. I will die.
Everybody, cheers to Abby's thesis not being completely fucked yet.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
Okay, so now that we've determined that the James Webb has passed its physical exam and is now just in the world's longest optometry appointment.
True. Sorry.
I was not expecting that. Just effective deadpan. Do you think, I'm going to bring it back to your Bachelor paper.
Thank you. That's my main passion.
Yeah. Oh, clearly. You've given me a little bit of like, I get your hobbies. You're like astronomer and physics, like telescope hobbies, just, for a little bit of color.
Yeah.
But
it pays the bills.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
The main focus of this is, of course, the paper you have spent over a year working with the two of you and your 4 other collaborators who sadly could not be here with us today, mainly because there is only space on this couch for 2.5 people. I am half off the couch. And also I don't know who those 4 people are, so I did not want to welcome them into my home. So let's talk about that paper, and specifically jumping off of that. Do you think, I know you talked about further study potentially with whether or not the couples are still together, but do you believe that what you have learned with this neural net could be applied to future seasons? Do you think it could be applied to other reality TV shows? And I specifically have a follow-up from Eris, our writer, who asks, do you think it is possible to build a failure-proof contestant, like a contestant that will almost definitely go to the finals? Do you think that is possible?
Great question, Eris. I think one of the main things we learned from our research is that if you are older than 30 years old, you basically have no chance on The Bachelor. So I would highly recommend not going on the show if you are older than 30 years old. Second, if you are not white, you basically have a 0% chance of winning, according to our models.
Have any non-white people ever been the final, like the last person?
So
Recently.
Yeah, season 18, I believe, a woman named Catherine, who was half Filipino, half white, won.
And are they still together?
They are still together.
Okay.
So, yes, but no black woman has ever won The Bachelor, unfortunately. And it's been a very large source of controversy, and we can discuss that later. We have many thoughts.
I think we're gonna wait a few minutes before we get into a long discussion about systematic racism. I think I need a few more drinks. It's fine. It's not broken.
I also found that career-wise, women in medical fields or like aesthetic fields, like being hairdressers or dancers or actresses, also had higher chances of winning.
Okay, so you either need to be professional at being pretty or a doctor?
Oh, sorry. I meant like a medical sales rep.
Oh. I was thinking that's a bizarre bimodal distribution.
So like selling drugs to doctors.
Is that just an overrepresented
It's very, very overrepresented.
Yeah, shockingly so.
So nobody in just middle management has a chance. I understand being professional at being pretty, having good odds, because obviously you're pretty, it's your job, and being an actress, I assume, just makes you a awesome person. But
yeah, so I
selling drugs to doctors. So not drug dealing.
No. Yeah.
By the way, have any drug dealers ever made it very far?
I don't think anyone has admitted to being a drug dealer.
To my knowledge. I will say though.
Do you think the pharma girls had a side hustle that may have helped?
It's very likely.
Could be, yeah.
I will say though that if you think about it, The Bachelor takes place over 8 weeks of filming, and you need a job where you are allowed to leave your job for 8 weeks, and so there's a correlation between people that have jobs that are very flexible making it far in the show.
It's always shocking when there's a grad student in there. It's how did you, what was that conversation with your advisor like?
It gives me secondhand anxiety.
Yeah, and there's a law student, and I'm
well, I feel like some law students have summers.
Do they really?
Yeah.
God.
Wow, I need to
And if you're a master's student, I don't see it being a huge problem. I got a master's. It's not real grad school. I had
that could work. Okay, that could work.
Yeah, I feel depending. Also, if you're a sociology grad student, this could be really interesting research data.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A case study.
Yeah.
Has anyone ever gone and tried to study The Bachelor from the inside, doing a thesis?
Maybe they haven't admitted to it, but I'm sure someone has gone on.
Definitely at least applied. I mean, both Grace and I have applied multiple times.
And we both have partners.
We both have been in 2+ year
Don't say that.
Sorry.
This is on the internet.
Bachelor producers, if you're watching this, please let us on the show.
That was a joke.
Wait,
they're partners. Your wedding didn't actually happen.
We love you, Mateo and Andrew.
Oh my god. If this goes viral, do you think they'll let us be on a, when they always have guests on a date?
Yeah, okay, that's actually my real dream.
We could actually be guests on a date and be hey, we're Abby and Grace, and we're gonna show you, we're gonna quiz you guys on your astronomy knowledge, or something cute like that.
No, there could be a cute stargazing date in the works.
For sure. Oh my god.
So during the group dates each week, they'll invite a celebrity to run the date. So for example, last season Hillary Duff was there.
Okay, you said two things that I need an explanation for. First of all,
group date.
What is group date?
Yeah.
And this is not a poly group.
No.
The women are not dating each other. They're just, or the men, it's a jet. So it's not a double date.
No.
It's not a
10
happy
women with one guy.
So 10 women with one guy, and none of the women are dating each other.
And there's always drama about she's taking
that sounds
too
like
much
a
time with him.
Frat house ratio. So you have 10 women who are all trying to date one guy, aren't dating each other, and they want to be monogamous. You mentioned that they get jealous. This doesn't really seem like a good environment for people who get jealous.
You're absolutely right.
Yeah, it's toxic.
Okay. and people willingly go on the show to participate in these group dates.
Yeah.
For Instagram?
For love, Jordan.
For love.
My theory is that a lot of them are in it for Instagram followers.
Okay.
So cynical.
I'm so cynical.
Okay, so these... Okay, even... How desperate do you have to be to take like a 10... No, it's 30. A 1 in 30 chance of winning. Do the women get to choose the Bachelor? Do they apply for the show after the Bachelor comes out?
In most cases, yeah.
Okay, so they know the guy whose affection they're going for.
Yeah.
In that they've seen a picture.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's all though. They've never like met him.
Okay. Is the Bachelor always really, really hot?
No.
Okay.
Unfortunately, like, yeah, sometimes they pick these like busted guys.
So you have...
Example.
Okay.
Clayton.
So-
Sorry.
Okay, so you've got a 1 in 30 chance of love with a moderately attractive man while surrounded by other very attractive women who you're not allowed to date. And this is shoved back in your face because you have to go on these group dates.
Yeah.
I guess at least when you get home, like, you're alone and, like, you get to go back into your own house and, like, you don't have to deal with all that chaos.
What do you
Okay.
mean by going home? Like when you get kicked off the show?
No,
No,
like,
it's in
after
real
after each date.
Oh no, they share.
They share
rooms.
a house.
They are like 4.
Wait, okay. So you're living with all of these women who by design are standing between you
Yeah.
and a shot at happiness.
Yes.
Like the world's most toxic sorority house on a college campus with a single man.
Yes. But I'm gonna take my conspiracy theory like one
Okay.
step further.
Mm-hmm.
Because, so I said I think a lot of them are in it for Instagram followers, but there's also a show called Bachelors in Paradise, where a lot of people who have been kicked off The Bachelor will then go to this like beach in Mexico and then try and date each other, and it's more like...
Okay, so the women can date each other at Bachelor in Paradise.
Yes.
There's been one instance.
There's been one instance. But here's my theory, is that a lot of people will go
This is
on...
a lot of time invested.
There are people who will go on The Bachelor because even if you're on the show, that kind of guarantees Instagram growth, first and foremost. So you're gonna make money on Instagram if you just go on the show and you are
Okay.
a personality that people want to follow. And then, even if you get kicked off again, you have a chance of going on another show, Bachelor in Paradise, which that has a huge amount of following as well.
Yeah.
So I think there's like it's not like you just get Instagram growth if you make it to the final 2.
Yeah.
My theory is that a lot of them know, like the pipeline from Bachelor contestant to Instagram like influencer is a straight line.
Yeah.
So I think that like they figured it out. Like
Yeah.
you're gonna get Instagram followers.
Okay, so now that we've clearly established that these are all like people with a very aggressive sadomasochist kink, who are also straight for some reason. Either it's that or they're in it for the Instagram and potentially making friends with other hot people who they apparently don't want to sleep with. Could your next paper be about maximizing your Bachelor strategy not for becoming a finalist, but for Instagram followers? Because you've talked about, what is the thing, that Instagram that we're going to shout out apparently?
At Bachelor Data.
At Bachelor Data. So you have this collaborator potentially who could provide you with all the data so you wouldn't have to rewatch all of these seasons again. This just feels like a necessary follow-up paper, which would take a lot. It seems like almost a gimme paper at this point.
Right. Oh yeah.
So
And I imagine that many people who want to go on The Bachelor would be interested because then they would be able to figure out what they need to do.
There's just so many competing influences here, and another thing is that usually someone in the top 5 will become the Bachelorette. And so you kind of have 3 goals here. Find love, become an influencer, become the Bachelorette.
Okay, so someone in the top 5 doesn't end up with the moderately attractive guy. They end up with 30 hot guys competing for them.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And it's usually the woman who had her heart broken the most. So sometimes they will like amp it up for the audience. And so sometimes I feel in the latest seasons with the rise of Instagram, the show has felt a little overproduced. And it makes me sad. But I lay out a couple of recommendations for Bachelor producers in the discussion section of our paper.
So what are those recommendations? Yeah,
so I think the Survivor show has been going on for many seasons. It's still very successful, and I think it's because they switch up the format of each season. And so The Bachelor is the same every single season. If they did something new, like have 2 bachelorettes, for example, which they are actually doing, contestants
first season they're doing that.
Yeah, contestants are less likely to come in with like a strategy to become influencers.
Yeah. Dustin D commented in the chat. They're with me on this one. So they recommend a video by Verily Bitchy, which I actually did watch for research on this, so that I could ask the right questions about The Bachelor, because I had never seen The Bachelor before. So instead of watching an episode of The Bachelor, because I just couldn't make myself,
that's fair.
I watched a take by a YouTuber who I really love and respect, Verily Bitchy, who talks. The video was about basically a history of bisexuality in reality TV.
I asked you to send me that video. I want to see.
Oh, yes. I will send that to you. She talks about A Shot at Love, which was a 2-season, basically bisexual version of The Bachelor, but it didn't really understand bisexuality as like a thing, and was just kind of like a bizarre, like,
that had Tila Tequila.
Yeah, it starred Tila Tequila as the bisexual bachelorette, and it had a bunch of turfy lesbians against a bunch of homophobic guys.
I mean,
and like that was the game.
Was that the 90s?
It was when Tila Tequila was super popular. So I think the early 2000s. With the MySpace era. So yes. Yeah. Okay, so what would your neural net recommend as the strategy for a hypothetical Bachelor contestant who isn't really interested in the moderately attractive guy, like just hypothetically, and is much more interested in becoming very good friends, maybe even roommates, or just, companions with the 29 other women. Just hypothetically, if that were the case, what would that strategy look like to you?
We did not investigate
friendship.
Yeah, absolutely out of the scope of this paper.
So friendship is out of the scope of this paper about a sorority competing over this one guy. Mm-hmm. Okay, that is fair. Okay. Robert Williams commented, I hate when I wake up with 4 spikes coming off light sources from the spider arms holding up the mirror in my eyeball.
Oh.
A little James Webb throwback.
Yeah.
Cute.
I think so we're a little behind on the chat. I'm just like, I'm reading that and I'm like, I think I may have become a little behind on the chat. So let's get back, using that as a jumping off point, let's get back to your actual research, and then we can talk about systematic racism on The Bachelor.
Okay.
Because I would like to have some level of science education, because that is our brand.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Keep it with
We
the
gotta
brand.
keep
I
it on
love how
brand.
just disappointed you are that we're
No,
talking
like,
about
no, let's
science.
go.
I guess I'll talk about science.
Let's go.
It's not our jobs, but
Yeah.
like
Yeah, it's
we
fine.
do not claim to be science educators.
That's fair. That's fair. That is in fact my job. Why am I like this? Okay. So, as part of this paper, you aren't going to be submitting this paper to peer review, correct?
Correct. It would not. I don't think it would stand peer review.
Who would you submit it to for peer review?
nature.
Oh my god.
In what category?
Nature,
Computer science,
computer
like machine
science,
learning.
machine learning. Yeah.
You should do that. Is there a submission charge? Like, is there a cost?
No, maybe I will.
Do
No,
it.
I think to nature. I think there is.
Oh. Okay.
Per figure, I think they do it.
Oh man.
Maybe. I don't know.
It's only if you're accepted though.
Okay.
Wow,
Okay,
wait,
so
what is this,
nature-
Grace? You don't think we're gonna be accepted?
So you only have to spend money if you are going to be in nature.
Okay.
By the way, for those of you at home who don't know what Nature is, it is one of the two top science journals in the country. The other one in the world, yes. The other one is Science. You should submit to both.
Okay, thank
Yeah.
you for the suggestion.
I mean, if it's free, why not?
Yeah, like submit to Applied Optics. Like
Yeah,
just
throw it out to
like-
every journal. One of them
One of
has
them's
got to
gonna
accept
bite.
us.
Yeah.
Well, they wouldn't like the optics of turning down such a new paper.
Wow.
It's novel work. Like it's pushing the boundary.
Interest in reality TV is only natural. Feel free to use all of these in your cover letters.
Yeah.
Okay.
We
Yeah.
will. We absolutely.
So you won't be submitting it initially for peer review.
Right.
You will be instead submitting it to the archive.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
For our viewers at home, what is the archive?
So the archive is a place where you can post your preprints. So in academia, that's basically like the document of your paper before it's all made nicely for publication. So it's like in a jank PDF.
But it's like free for anyone to download.
Yeah.
So that's like the main. I think that's kind of the main reason
Yeah.
why everyone's like, oh, and it's on the archive here because you know there won't be a paywall
Yeah.
for it. So, yeah.
So I think it really changed academia because before you had to wait for the actual journal to publish it, and then you would have to get the journal or like buy the journal. But with the archive, anyone can read any paper, so it's really made science much more accessible.
So it's science anarchy and like freedom of
Exactly.
information. I love that.
Yes. And so on March 31st every year, the archive allows April Fool's submissions because usually they will reject papers that they think are fake. But on March 31st, they just let it. It's free for all.
Yeah.
And so you have been planning for over a year.
Yes.
And you have done months. Many hours of research.
Yes.
Across 6 collaborators have gone into an April Fool's joke. And would you say that all astronomers and physicists are this committed to their April Fool's jokes?
No,
We're special.
no, we are. And I think I have looked at some other in previous years. I've looked at these April Fool's submissions, and some of them, like, no offense, but they look like they're written on like a Microsoft Word document and then just uploaded.
You don't even tech your April Fool's paper?
Grace,
That's what
search
I'm saying.
the tech templates.
I
She found
said-
a beautiful one.
I said we're doing IEEE, which is this like really profesh like journal for those of you who don't know. Has a lot of like physics publications that come out, and you can.
You should submit to them since you're already on their template.
Right, exactly. Like, we're already ready to go. So basically, for the viewers who don't know, you can basically write up a paper in this thing called LaTeX, and it basically just makes it easier for writing up math within a paper, and also so journals will say, hey, you want to submit to us? Here's a LaTeX template. So you can download that, and then you write up, and it looks like code, but it outputs this like beautifully written journal article.
You know
So-
how in high school everything had to be MLA formatted? This is
Exactly.
MLA formatting for scientists.
Mhm.
And it's done for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so nice. Like, it's so nice. So
So
anyway,
it's like
we just
easy bid for scientists.
Yeah,
Oh,
exactly.
Exactly. So we downloaded that and started with that so that it like looked good.
Yeah.
That was important.
That is very important. Commitment to a bit is incredibly important. I as a fellow overcommitter to my April Fool's pranks,
Yeah.
unfortunately this year Eris and I wanted to pull an April Fool's prank at work, but when running it by my manager, he said no. I had already made the poster. I'll post the poster on Patreon, and I'll make it public. So even if you're not, even if you don't give us money on Patreon, you will be able to see it. Just go over the Patreon. There should be a link in the description. If not, I'll put one in after. But apparently, an advertisement for a charity boxing match between two prominent microscopists was not acceptable for the all staff listserv.
Wow.
So
Toxic work environment.
I may or may not be printing it out and putting it up in my office
Oh
just
my
for
God.
funsies.
I just want to say I feel like I've learned a lot from this experience. You know, one thing I feel like I've struggled with in my own academic career is making things look aesthetically pleasing. You know, I don't have a good eye for visuals, but Grace checked me.
Stop. Stop it.
I
right
made
now.
these figures, and Grace told me I needed to make improvements, and I learned.
I didn't know that.
I learned that there were these cool features where you can decrease the white spaces on your figures. Wow, this is getting way too technical.
Oh my god.
I'm not sure technical is the right word. I think just like nitty gritty.
I really do love
No,
it.
I
I'm,
really
like, a nerd about
appreciate it.
visuals.
I really appreciated Grace's visual expertise.
Because it's just like also like this. It's like the smallest
Yeah.
details that make someone who doesn't know anything about your paper be like, oh wait, and then want to look
Yeah.
at it.
Yeah.
And like Grace made sure we had a consistent color scheme throughout the paper, which was pink.
That only seems right.
Yeah.
I mean,
And I just like looked at the final product and it was so beautiful and it made
Yeah.
you want to read it. And
Yeah.
I was shook because I didn't realize how much visuals
oh
could.
my god, thank you, Abby.
So
I'm
like not to get soft. Oh my god.
oh my god, I'm
Oh, this is so
touched.
cute.
But
I
now
love
I've
this.
learned
My
that
passion.
visuals can really like change how a reader views your paper, even though it doesn't change your actual science or
which
text.
is a rare
Yeah.
like thing in academia. I think
Yeah.
sometimes people just throw together visuals and
Yeah.
they're like, okay, good, whatever. But it's like it really is like the difference between like, okay, another paper and like, oh, this is one that I like want to look
Yeah.
at.
Yeah.
You know?
No, I learned that. So this paper really changed the course of my career.
Damn.
Just so the two of you know, you have just given Nova so much ammunition to use against me when she is spending like her 5th hour
Oh my god.
on like a 10-minute talk, and at this point she's just futzing with the PowerPoint formatting.
Okay, but her slides look so good.
Thank you.
I agree
I've
that her
seen that.
slides look good. I think they would have looked good 3 hours ago.
Okay.
And she said we could start watching Trek at 8, and
my
it is now
Wait,
11.
is this Rebecca?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
I thought you said Nova.
That's her channel name.
Oh,
God,
okay.
Abby, get
Oh my God,
with
I'm
it.
sorry.
Jesus.
Reminder, I am Astra.
Thank you very
That's
much.
Nova. And
And I'm optics girl.
Oh my
Sorry.
God.
Grace
I'm Bachelor
underscore
Mega
optics. No, I like this. You have to give yourself,
Yeah.
when you come on the channel for a discussion, you can either come on as a scientist
Mhm.
or you have to give yourself a fun name. You can do both.
We did both.
Yeah. Okay. So, Optics Girl and Bachelor Mega Fan, what are you? Is this the April Fool's joke you are most proud of, or do you have other April Fool's stories?
I don't think I've really done April Fools. Like,
So you started with a bang.
I mean, I can't say I've like done anything other than like, oh, it's raining, April Fools. like Like, I haven't done anything that cool. Like, this is definitely...
So I might
coolest.
make my confession for the first time of my life. When I was a senior in high school, I kind of regret this because I'm like an animal rights activist now. But I bought like 100 goldfish and put them all in the boys' urinals my senior year.
Oh my god.
Wait,
Yeah,
that's actually so funny.
That's
so funny.
That's horrible, and I'm glad that from an animal rights perspective, you've grown as a person. Legendary!
Yeah.
Legendary!
Yeah, so I'm admitting this, Central High School. That was me. I know you were a little mad about that.
And it's
Wait,
like,
were you
it's
ever
iconic.
caught?
No.
That's
You were-
iconic.
That is
iconic.
amazing. You are a
Was it
legend.
just you, or was it like...
It was me and like 3 other girls.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's phenomenal.
Oh
You
my
are
God.
a legend.
Yeah.
I
Thank you.
stand.
And I'm sure the school put out some statement like, this, please come forward. We do not support, like, placing animals in urinals where they do not belong, blah, blah, blah. This
Goldfish.
is disrespectful to the sanitary, da,
Yeah.
da, da.
No.
Where did you get all of the goldfish? Just at a pet store?
Yeah, Petco. Goldfish are like 5 cents.
Fuck, dude. 5 cents. Like,
5 cents for goldfish?
Yeah, no, the expensive thing is buying their, I don't know, crate? What is
Yeah.
it called?
Tank.
Tank.
If you put a goldfish in a crate, it
Yeah,
won't
right.
end well. Just a heads up.
Oh my god.
Robert was just saying in the chat that jumping off of our aesthetics discussion, he said it could be worse. Your main hobby could be photography, and you could have just no eye for aesthetics. So that would be sad.
That would be embarrassing.
But clearly, you have an eye for aesthetics.
I don't know.
You have an eye for trust and grace, and
Oh my god.
an
Follow
eye
Grace
for
on Twitter.
amazing.
She has some great optics.
I
visuals.
do love posting my science visuals on Twitter.
I love that you're very into visuals and you went into optics. That just
Yeah.
seems right.
You know what? I've never made that connection. That's so
Wow.
embarrassing.
You just had an eye of.
You've like
awakening
opened my
experience.
mind.
No, I was thinking like you love you just love eyes and cameras. Like the
I
artistic
do.
side is aesthetics
Yeah.
and the mechanical side is optics.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
That's good.
Cute. What a common thread through my career. It's so beautiful.
You should probably put that in a speech and then you can cite me.
I will. I actually will.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I fully expect to receive a link and a citation.
Okay.
Put me in the special thanks.
And like $20 in the mail. Like every time I say it in a speech, I like have to give you money.
Ooh, I like that. That might make Bad Astra break even.
Oh my god.
We're getting close, but my laptop broke and I need a new laptop, and those are not cheap. So I actually do have a fun April Fool's story.
Ooh.
So I have 2. Both were pranks I played on Nova. Both were pranks I played on Nova. One was before we were dating. I turned her world upside down. We were roommates, and I turned everything in her bedroom upside down.
Oh my god, the classic.
Including her easel.
Oh my god.
Getting that to balance was hard. All of her lamps, getting those to balance on their little finials was hard. I learned the word finial from her.
Okay.
Even the bed.
Not the bed. The bed, actually, I could not lift,
Okay.
and I was worried about breaking.
Did you flip like the mattress?
Yes.
Okay.
I don't know if she knows that, but I did. I flipped that.
Yeah, 'cause you flipped it with the blankets on it.
Oh, yeah, I did.
Oh.
Like, I had the blankets on it. I also flipped all of her artwork. It was all on command strip, so I just had to take it off, turn it on.
Easy.
I flipped the books. The hardest thing to flip was actually her garbage because I needed all the garbage to stay inside when I
Yeah.
turned it upside down.
Was Nova? Did she find
Was
this
she
funny?
pissed?
She was a very good sport about it. Although I do have this pet peeve about toothpaste. And so when I went to brush my teeth, she had completely demolished the toothpaste tube. I like to have all the toothpaste just all the way at the bottom,
Yeah.
very neatly. And we shared toothpaste, and she would mess it up, and I kept yelling at her about messing it up. And she had finally learned. And then I got home to that being messed up and a note that said that it was her day to clean the kitchen, but since somebody had turned her world upside down, she didn't have time that I would be cleaning the kitchen, which was fair. The other prank I pulled was a bit more elaborate.
Okay.
Wow.
So here's the thing. This was after we started dating. We actually lived here.
Okay.
At this point, it was about a year after college. I was already working at the planetarium that shall never be named again. And Nova's worst fear at the time was that she would come home from a trip, because she went on lots of trips, like conferences, family visits, stuff like that. And she'd get home and I would have adopted a dog. She had stress dreams about coming home to me having adopted a puppy. Her worst fear. She is not a dog person, could not stand dogs.
Do you just over rice right now?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Could not handle the idea of me adopting a puppy. So for April Fools, I remember spending all day between shows at the planetarium putting together a progressively louder, layered track of a dog pacing around a bathtub with like the footprints, some whines, a collar jingling, and like the dog getting progressively more upset and the volume getting progressively louder. And I put a Bluetooth speaker in the bathtub, and then I started texting her because she was on vacation and was coming home the night before April 1st. And I just started texting her about how sorry I was. And she got really worried that I'd thrown a party. I had mentioned that I had seen one of my best friends, Savvy Writes Books dog's Chewy. I had actually gone over to a party at Savvy's the night before, and I had told Nova that I was hanging out with Chewy. And then I was like, I'm so sorry. I hosted some people, and she's like, wait, you said Chewy. Wait, did Savvy and Tyler and Chewy come over? And I was like, I'm sorry. I never lied to her. I let her go into her own panic spiral. Mm-hmm. Apparently after a few hours, her parents were really worried because they were like, either this is an amazing April Fool's joke or they're going to break up, and we really don't want them to break up.
Oh my god.
Because of course Nova tells her parents who she's visiting at the time. I, by the way, was not visiting her parents, not because they didn't love me. They were actually very awesome. But because my job, not the planetarium, different job that I also had at the time, had denied my PTO. So I was also very sad and lonely because my PTO had been denied. So I had to stay while Nova got to go have fun hanging out with her parents. And I was stressed, and I took all of that stress out on faking that I had a dog at home. So Nova comes home and is like, okay, the apartment is clean. Mm-hmm. I don't hate you. And so we're chatting in the bedroom. Then she hears a sound coming from the bathroom.
She wasn't like, why did you say sorry? Was she like, why?
No,
did
she
you
was like, oh,
apologize?
thank God it was a prank.
Oh.
No. She wasn't. She knew that there was a very high likelihood that this was an April Fool's joke because I play April Fool's jokes every year.
Okay, I got you.
But I had a whole plane ride to question what if.
Yeah.
What if it wasn't a prank? What if it's real?
She spent a lot of time in airplane mode agonizing. And meanwhile, I'm like, it was a weekend day, so I got to be at the planetarium chatting with all my friends, including, I think, Eris. I may have chatted with Eris about this exact prank. So we're just chatting in the bedroom, and then she hears it coming from the bathroom. And then, of course, my mission becomes keep her out of the bathroom as it gets louder. Mm-hmm. She was very, very pissed.
Oh my god.
And then very, very relieved to open the curtains and find, instead of a very upset dog that has been locked in the dark, a Bluetooth speaker.
Oh my god.
With I had a little sign I had written on a piece of printer paper and left it in with the speaker, Happy April Fools.
Oh my god.
Yeah. And that is the story of how and she did tell me that had that not been an April Fool's prank, she would have broken up with me. And I was like, yeah, and that's why it made for the best April Fool's prank.
Wow,
that's
iconic.
Scary though. I would be so scared, instill that level of anger in my partner. I don't know, like
We have a very special relationship.
yeah.
Mainly,
And you took some significant risks.
I did.
Oh my god.
Oh, another thing I did that you didn't notice. I was hoping that the party thing would last longer. I took a bunch of her wine, specifically her nice wine, and out of the wine rack, and I hid it so that she would think we had drunk all of her wine. That bit she didn't notice. And after like an hour or so of her not noticing that, I just got it out and I was like, so you didn't notice the best part of the prank. I was a little annoyed by that. I really went all out. I moved a few things so it looked like I had hurriedly cleaned. Apparently I am not good enough at cleaning for it to be believable that I did a good enough job of cleaning that it would not have gotten rid of like any smells. Which, like, you know, glad you have faith in me.
I mean, I don't.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
It's a good prank though. That was good. That
Thank
was very
you.
well thought
Yeah.
out. Like,
Yeah.
Wow.
Since then,
There's more of both, by the way.
my April Fool's pranks have been on other
What?
people.
Sure, thank you.
More what?
yes, please.
And I am waiting on her to prank me back.
Oh, she has something scheming up in her little brain that's so dark
Maybe not for
and
this
evil.
year, but one of these days.
What she
We've been
wants you to
busy,
think.
yeah. I'm
Is
hoping.
this for you or me?
That's for you.
Oh my god. Thank
Okay,
you so
it's
much.
manageable.
What does that mean?
Like spicy.
Like, does that mean like it's not gonna be manageable?
I mean,
Find it
I don't know
better?
about that, but this is good.
Oh, is this different? Yeah, it is.
Yeah,
obviously.
this is cauliflower. I
Okay.
think that's chickpeas.
Okay.
If you find a pepper, though, don't eat it. They're very spicy.
Tell me how that is.
I picked out the ones that I caught.
According to Dustin, if you're not going to take your prank seriously, no one else will. I think they approve very highly of your paper and the goldfish. I gotta say, that's a classic prank.
It's a little spicy,
Oh my god,
right?
wait, actually it has a
Aw,
kick.
thank you,
I'm a
Dustin,
bitch.
for
No,
the
I'm
sweet-
a little bitch too. Oops, sorry Dustin, we love you.
Oh my god.
Thank you, Dustin, for saying that Cece is sweet. Robert actually has a question for Abby.
Okay.
Since you mentioned that you're going to use web data for your thesis, will web data have the same researcher exclusivity period that Hubble currently has?
So, yes, I think both web and HST generally have like a 12-month proprietary period. So, and for the audience, that basically means I proposed for that data, and so only I'm allowed to look at that data for a year, and then after the year is up, it's free, like anyone can use it. And basically what that does is it helps like early career researchers specifically like have a little bit of time to work on their projects before the sharks come and use your data.
I believe in you.
Thank you. I'm
You'll
gonna
get
try
it
my
done.
best. It's gonna be a stressful year, but we'll get it done.
Yeah. Dustin also said their
Share?
father was a pranking genius, but didn't always use his powers for good. Apparently, Dustin's had to spend a lot of time convincing their little sister that most moths are not, in fact, poisonous.
Okay.
That is an evil dad.
Yeah.
Like, I already find moths like inside a bit
Terrifying.
unsettling.
Oh.
Yeah. But like, imagine if someone convinced you at a young age that they were poisonous.
Yeah. I'm sorry, Dustin.
I'm very sorry for Dustin's sister
That's
too.
horrible.
Apparently, Dustin's dad's best work was the makeshift wraith-like figure he constructed out of a coat rack and old Halloween costume bits before convincing Emily and I that it was lurking about every year during October. Either that, or the tiny ceramic penguins and elephants. We were never sure where we'd find them.
Oh my god.
That sounds terrifying. Like, could you imagine someone just hiding a Dementor around your house every Halloween? And also, like, although the ceramic elephants and penguins sounds delightful.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
Like, that's like cute.
I feel like I would love just like every few days, like finding a little ceramic elephant or penguin.
Yeah, that's manageable.
And I have to
Yeah.
try some of this chana masala. Is it spicy?
Yeah, I'm like kind of a little bitch, so.
No, I am too. This place for some reason is like the only spice I cannot handle.
Really?
No, I don't know why.
We're eating Nepalese food and having a great time. Luckily, the prank story does have a happy end. That happy end didn't come until a little over a year ago when Rebecca became a dog person. Yeah, Nova, are you a dog person now?
I am.
Yeah.
Yay.
Took a lot of convincing and
So-
demonstration that you can be responsible.
Wow. That's harsh.
What? You did it. You demonstrated it.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So now that the food has arrived, you get to choose. We can either say goodbye to everyone and enjoy the food, or we could talk about systematic racism on The Bachelor.
That we will leave that to the next session. I think I need to.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's eat some food.
I need to prepare.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Prepare talking points.
I feel like we're just gonna have another live stream where I'm here like talking about some like scientific accident, and then like half an hour in, you two are banging down the door, be like, we are ready for the Bachelor like systematic racism discussion. We brought cited sources, and I'll be like, oh no. Okay. So thank you everyone so much for tuning in.
Thank
It was so nice having you all. Everybody be sure to follow Grace Optics.
Grace_optics, you guys.
Grace_optics.
Instagram and Twitter. If you want to see my little figures that I make, follow me on Twitter.
And Abby.
My Twitter is @Abigail_J_Lee.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I would like to personally recommend that Instagram specifically because you can see a lot of photos of Cece's best friend, Mando.
Oh, cute.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mando is adorable.
Yeah.
He is a mini Labradoodle.
Yeah.
And he is Cece's best friend, and they love each other very much. He isn't Cece's only friend,
But Cece is his only friend.
because I am also Cece's friend. He is very close to Cece's only friend.
She's selective.
Okay. I love how we're just like, and we're drinking wine. This is about to get a little bad. Okay. Thank you, everyone, so
you.
much for coming to the live stream. Happy
Bye,
April
dolls.
Fools. Cece out.